Welcome to Living on Purpose with Jenny Dean. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you liked last week's about forgiveness. I had a lot of you guys comment, and I appreciate you guys listening to that. It means the world to me when you comment and share on those. Today I wanted to talk about how to have a six-pack at 40. So I am, 5 months away from 40, which I welcome. I'm not scared of it. Just because I think we are better when we age, like we have more knowledge. So I'm just going to share. I have not had a six-pack my whole life. I don't think nothing happens when you have a six-pack, but a six-pack ultimately means you're in great shape, right? Like you have your body fat low and you're athletic and you can pretty much do anything you want with your body. So you feel good is my whole idea of a six-pack. So let's dive into it. So to get a six-pack, you have to be willing to be the odd one out. You have to be willing to feel the negative feelings. You have to reprogram your brain and stop doing what's easy. So the most people, I would say 80, you're a 1%er if you have a six-pack. So you walk into a room, out of 100 people, the 1%er is going to have the six-pack because they're doing the hard stuff, right? They have to reprogram the brain to have discipline. So it all comes down to discipline. It is doing what you hate to do, but you do it anyway. Like today, it's raining, it's cold. There's no way I wanted to go work out at all, 6 a.m., but I did it, and I just get it done. And I always go based on the fact of how I'll feel afterwards, not during, not before. I just go on my emotion and how I feel after. So in no way did I want to get up at 5 and do a 6 a.m. workout, but thank God I got it done, or otherwise I would not have done it today. So that's discipline. It's doing what you hate to do, but you do it anyway. Being in the fitness industry for about 10 years now, I have noticed that it is around the 3-month mark that people tend to quit, and I see it all the time. So around 3 to 4 months, it's either they get sick, they have other things to do, work has caught up with them, they want to watch the TV show, they want to sleep in, and or it's just they're lazy, but they're not going to admit that. It's mainly because they don't see results. And what people don't understand is results come within consistency. So it's months and months. 3 months, you should start to see something if you're doing an effective workout, but after that, it just happens the more and more you do it. You just have to stick with it. And a lot of people don't stick with it. I see it all the time. The easy thing to do is, blame it on something else and not come back to the gym, not come back to whatever you were doing or the healthy lifestyle, whatever it was. Most of these people have one thing in common. They weren't happy with their progress that they had. So they have no visible results. Like in the mirror, they don't see anything different. So they're like, I'm not doing anything anyway, so I'm just going to quit. Very, very common. I believe what sets the dedicated people away from the quitters is the inner game, the mental side of getting and staying fit. Building a six-pack is not from jumping on the bandwagon of some new diet, like what now is the keto diet, or it was the Atkins diet, or I have a lot of people doing cleanses and juices and all of that. In my opinion, none of that works. It's consistency. It's a lifestyle, watching your diet. It is simply a matter of adopting a disciplined lifestyle, orderly approach to how you handle your body. It has to be a lifestyle change, or you're going to forever be that person on a Monday. I always say people come back from out of town, or they come back from a weekend binge and they're like, Monday, I'm going to be the Monday person. I'm going to work out this Monday. And, and that's never consistent, and it never happens. They'll never become a lifestyle because they're binging and then they're wanting to change, and it just doesn't happen. So most of us suffer from a lack of motivation and lack of discipline. That's why most of us quit. What I see a lot of people is in starting their fitness plan is they give in to their temptations. They give into the easy stuff to do. So the easy thing to do is to go out with the friends, have margaritas, and be too hungover for the next day's workout, right? You have an excuse. You're tired. You're hungover. So they either want to sleep in, or they want if they think a few days off isn't a big deal, but in your body's mind it is, because you're losing consistency, and the easy thing to do is just not show up, right? So I do believe some of us are more naturally disciplined than others. Anyone can use the simple tricks to get themselves back into the game. So I want to talk about some tricks to help yourself if you fall off the wagon, how to get back on. First of all, so a six pack. I never had one before kids. I told you guys before, my body's made to be thin and skinny and not attractive to me. I like, shape, and I like muscle. So I've never had one before kids. It was just always flat. I never really focused on that. But after my two kids, for some reason, a hormone in my body was like clicked on. It just turned on. It was like a switch. And it said, okay, I'm going to start holding on to all this hard work that you're doing. I'm going to hold on to the muscle because my diet didn't change. It was some hormone in my body. I noticed my abs about I would say 8 or 9 months after my second child, which is crazy. I remember looking in the mirror like, oh, those weren't there before. I was like, what it means, let me tell you, just like I tell other people in the handstand workshops I teach, nothing happens. Nothing changes when you have a six-pack, absolutely nothing. Nothing happens when you get a handstand. In my workshop class, nothing truly happens. But you might look good in pictures. You might have people comment, which feels good. You should feel stronger, right? And nothing dramatically changes once you get one. That's what people need to know, first of all. Like, you're not going to be happier once you get one. Your relationship isn't going to be better once you get one. That just doesn't happen. So just know that if you think you're having one, it will turn into some superhero and you're going to be, on cloud 9 every single day. That doesn't happen, I just don't want you to be disappointed. So I want you to be aware of that. But with that being said, I look at my stomach now at 5 months until I turn 40. So I turned 40 in August. 2 kids later, I feel like I look like I work hard, right? So my goal isn't to look good in a bikini. It's to know that I physically can do anything, like bring up groceries 3 flights of stairs, or hold my kid I held her for 60 minutes during church, and she's 55 pounds, like my body was strong enough to do that. I am proud of what my strong core allows me to do, right? So it's an internal confidence that I think having a six-pack builds, hopefully. And you guys, it's almost like you get this badass, like you can seriously take on anything, So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about how we get there. The saying that abs are made in the kitchen is so true. I would say 95% of what we put in our body will determine if you have a six-pack, considering if you're older than 18 years of age. So everyone has one. We just have, layers of whether it's fat or we're bloated or whatever covering the six-pack. So how you have one and you can see one in the mirror or it's visible is you're pretty lean and you have really low body fat. Right? And how you get that is what you put in your diet, what you put in your mouth. So let's talk hydration, okay? And there are some people are taking water pills and they look too hydrated, or I don't know what that's about, but the more water, the better. Absolutely, especially if you're working out. I teach in a hot yoga studio and we lose tons and tons of electrolytes, water. People have to go get IVs because they're dehydrated, and you just have to watch all of that. So your body is made up of 75% of water. Water is lost by sweating, when you go to the bathroom, when you go pee. It's lost by breathing. It's lost all day long. So you need to replace it every day. Dehydration is the state in which the body has replaced too little water for it to properly function. Okay, this has various negative side effects. People get headaches, and I'm dehydrated all the time. I get headaches. I get super sleepy, and I feel weak in my lifts. Like if I'm going to work out and I pick up a heavy weight, I can tell my body is dehydrated. I'm tired, and I'm not going to lift as much that day. So drink water. I do probably over 3 bottles of 32 ounce big bottles every single day. I would say that still isn't enough for me. So I teach mostly every day 2 hours in the infrared studio. So that's 93 degrees, and I'm in there for 2 hours. And, I'm not working out with everybody because I'm teaching, but I'm sweating with everybody. So I know in my head, if I don't drink a full bottle of water every class I teach, then I'm not going to feel good later on that day. I'll feel tired and sluggish and get a migraine. It also helps your skin look fuller, and it makes you look younger. So the idea that water bloats you and makes you look bad is not the case. I've never understood that. Like, water hydrates you and it's healthy for you. So next, I can't tell you how many times people have told me that I look like I eat air or I eat nothing. So people think, oh, she eats nothing, that's why she looks like that, or, that's just easy for her because she can have salad all day. And I did an Insta story on my Instagram, and it was really hard. Like, what I went from as soon as I woke up, 6 a.m., all the way to like 9 p.m. of what I ate every single day, what I put in my mouth. And it was a lot of work because I eat every 2 hours, constantly. I'm fueling myself, and I could never do the intermittent fasting. I know it's healthy for you, but I could never, ever, ever do that. I would not be a nice person. I have to fuel my body. So if you know me, I'm constantly eating. I am not nice when I'm hungry. I think the women especially, a hormone gets in our body and we get hangry, and it is not pleasant to be around. So I constantly have snacks. You do not need to starve yourself. That is like old school. You need to think as food is medicine. Like, whatever you're feeding your body, it should be nourishing to your body. And if it's not, and if you're going to gain weight from it, that's the bad stuff. And that you need to, just stay away from it. It's not medicine. It's not fueling your body in any way. For me, I'll tell you later, but I read a book about 15 years ago, and that's the last time I've had anything fried. I read that book, and I used to eat Taco Bell. I would eat anything. You can ask my sister. You can ask my mom and dad. I had no limitations on food, but I would always get a stomach ache. So I read this book. It's called The Eat Clean Diet by Tosca Renna, 15 years ago. And I remember I had a French fry 15 years ago, and that was my last French fry. But not to say I don't have chips and salsa, but that was my last fried food, because in my brain, all you got to do is tell me it's not good for me, it does this, bad things for me, it's out, it's done. And that's just discipline. That is just turning the switch off, and I never look back. I'm not missing anything. I have zero desire, zero. If I did, I would eat it, okay? So you also do not need to spend hundreds of dollars on diet pills. If there was a diet pill, I always say I would take it. If there was like a magic pill, believe me, everyone would take it, right? But there's not. The diet pills don't last. They last maybe for 3 months, or the water pills, or the cleanses, or the juices, or the whatever. Your body naturally cleanses itself through the liver. So all of that, in my opinion, is a waste of money. So it just takes hard work, right? It's what no one wants to do, is how you just stay in shape over a lifestyle. Like, it should be years and years. Like, in my view, I'm not going to gain weight. That's just not in my lifestyle right now. The work it takes to get a six-pack to show is not the sexy work, right? So it is just plain hard work, being consistent. Honestly, I've been told I train or work out like a dude. I have never liked cardio. I would choose weights 100% over cardio. So that just means a lot of women, and I teach a lot of women, they get a cardio high. Like, my sister does that. She'll come to my yoga class, and then she'll be like, okay, let's go for a run. Let's go for a run right after I taught. And for me, I'm like depleted and I'm done. But she's racing after that high. So I get that, not from cardio. Like, you couldn't pay me to go stand on a treadmill. But I get it from lifting weights and just feeling strong after that. I also know the science behind lifting heavy weights will get you stronger, and you burn fat throughout the whole entire body all day long. Once you stop doing cardio, your body is done. It's depleted. It's already done all the calories. But if you have muscle, the more muscle, it's like you're a fire, and your body's just burning all day long. That's why I'm able to eat all day long, because I'm just in constant burn fat. So I know for a fact that heavy weight training changed my body. And I will say I probably started that in CrossFit, I guess. They taught me how to lift heavy. I was always scared about the CrossFit girls looking like super bulky, but I now know the facts behind that, and that's because they have body fat on them. So if they took away all the body fat, then they would be super lean. But for some reason, they might not have had a clean diet, but they're eating a lot, or they're taking something that makes them look like bulky. And that's not something I wanted to look like. So my body has adapted well to lifting heavy, but also eating clean. Like you have to do both. You can't just lift heavy and go eat French fries all day, right? So my major lifts that I do, that I actually teach in classes now, are heavy lunges, heavy squats, heavy deadlifts. I do pull-ups, I do biceps curls. So that's like all a dude's workout, right? Women are, I think, hopefully, I always tell people if they're like, should I do cardio or weights? I always say weights. And if they ask if I should do yoga or a weight training class, if they have 1 hour, I would never say yoga at all. I would say weight training. Absolutely 100 times, over and over and over. Because we need muscle on our bones to age well. I mean, it's just, the longevity of a muscle is way better than the cardio. You do need some cardio for the heart aspect, but you should get cardio in between your weight training. And I'll talk about later, that's kind of how I work out now. It's called functional fitness training. Anyway, so women should not be scared of lifting weights. We will never get as big as the guy. We have like something like 1/16 of the testosterone as a man. So we don't ever need to be thinking, oh, I'm going to get so bulky. Like just watch your body fat and watch what you put in your mouth if you don't want to do that. Anyway, so let's talk alcohol. This is another one. And I talked about this on my last two podcasts ago. Your body doesn't absorb alcohol, so it like stops your body from absorbing and burning through fat. Immediately stops your body. So what do most people do when they drink alcohol? They're eating some fatty food. They're eating something, maybe. I mean, I could have salad with a glass of wine. So I'm not saying this is every occasion, but it kind of dilutes our way of thinking where we're like, oh, I can have the French fry, I can drink some wine, I can do this. And that's the worst way to drink alcohol because your body is going to absorb all of that fat if you're drinking alcohol with the fat, for sure. So I tell people, as I age, I have noticed that at night I like to wind down with a glass of wine occasionally. I'll give myself 2 nights a week to do that. And that's just like 1 or 2. I'm done with the whole, let's drink to get drunk. I did that in college. That's just out the door for me. Because I want to be able to be with my kids the next day. I have stuff to do the next day. I have 0 time for a hangover. And that's basically why, not because I'm going to get fat. Like that's zero. Nothing goes in my brain like that. But I want to feel good the next day, right? So I just have, and I tell people limit to 2 glasses. I think a lot of people do every night, which is just to wind down, and it becomes a habit. And you got to break it, like with green tea or put kombucha in your wine glass or something, just to trick your brain. So my goals, what I tell people are my goals are more important than a buzz, like more important than a hangover. Like I have bigger goals the next day. So honestly, I don't drink to get drunk anymore, which is a great feeling. It's because, but people need to know if they're like trying to lose the last 5 or 10 pounds, they need to know that alcohol blocks the ability to lose fat. So what I tell people, do 2 glasses of wine if on your drinking night, like say you pick a Friday night, 2 glasses of wine, but watch what you're consuming during the time you're drinking the wine. It needs to be healthy and not fatty foods, like not a beer and French fries or a beer and a hamburger. Your body will gain weight that way. Like 100%. You can gain 5 pounds in a week that way if you're doing that every night. So make sure it's clean eating, which is, just a salad or chicken breast or something, and enjoy your glass of wine, right? Okay, I think I've harped on that way too many times. Just watch what you're eating, when you're consuming wine, okay? Nothing crazy carbs. I mean, everything, your body doesn't, as soon as you take that alcohol sip and you eat the fatty food, it's going to absorb fat. It's going to go straight to your fat storage, okay? So, water, alcohol, cut your alcohol, drink a lot of water for 6 packs, and diet is a huge one. I believe, first of all, I don't believe in diets. I don't believe they work. I believe in, I've been eating clean, which is what I call it, for over 15 years. I read that book 15 years ago, and it's not rocket science. It is whatever can't like stay in your pantry for 15 years, right? So unprocessed foods, whatever you can put in the refrigerator, I eat. Any fruits and vegetables. I don't think fruit makes you fat. I eat all of it. I eat a lot of eggs. I eat dairy. None of it bothers me. I eat oatmeal. I eat a lot of carbs because I am active pretty much 3 to 4 hours a day with just my job. And so I have to fuel myself or I will not have any energy for anything I want to do. So just think carbs make you have energy. You just have to watch what you're doing, which kind of carbs you're doing. I do a lot of sweet potatoes. White rice is better than brown rice. I'll show you or watch my Instagram for a article on that. And white rice is not bad for you. It's a great carb. So is oatmeal. I have steel cut oatmeal every single day. Yogurts. I have protein shakes. I am putting in the show notes an example of a clean eating diet and an example of a clean eating snack list and clean eating grocery list. Okay, so if you're like, what the heck does that mean? Look at that, and maybe it will help you just take it to the grocery store. Another thing is I don't add. I'm pretty particular on my sauces. I think I used to be way more anal. I've kind of let back, like. On my dressings, like if I'm having a salad, I usually have salsa on it, or I'll have a vinaigrette, or I do not, the restaurants nowadays, they just put like oil, butter, everything, and you can't even taste the real food. And it's funny, I tell people, or the waiter, I just want it dry, and they're like, what? I'm like, it's the easiest way to cook, just dry. And if they have to add a little oil so it doesn't stick, then that's fine, but they douse it in it, and that's because it tastes good, and that's because, it's just a whole rat race of what they're doing. But for me, I like the actual taste of food. Fish is really good. Any high protein. I believe in protein. You're supposed to get your body weight of protein. Protein builds muscle and helps you burn fat all day. There's so many stuff out there now that's like, no protein or don't eat past, but that's a different lifestyle. If you're working out and you're trying to build muscle, you need protein, you need carbs, you need fat. Those are your macronutrients. Like you should be watching what you're eating. And you also, I tell my classes this, you have a 45-minute window after you take a class or you work out. So a lot of people, I know I used to do this. I used to be like, oh, I have 0 time to go eat. So I'm going to go run an errand and then run another errand. And by the time it's 2, 3 o'clock and it's time to get the kids, you have done nothing. Like that whole hour that you worked out is wasted. Like you have not, your muscles have to be fed or they will never grow, right? So the whole point of gaining muscle is so you could burn fat all day. It's just your body will become a fat burning machine. So I tell people to put a protein shake in their car with the powder, just add water to it, and it's just on the go. It's super easy. You just have to be on top of it. You have to think before you're going to go. Like if you're going to go to a yoga class, even after yoga, have a protein shake. Feed the muscles, right? That's how they replenish and that's how they grow. I would say I eat 5 to 6 meals a day. You can look on my Instagram story. I actually posted it on my wall on Instagram under the highlights because I don't want to do that again, watch what I eat every day just because it's time consuming. And I eat a lot. I mean, I would say over 2,500 calories. I don't count my calories anymore, but I never really did. But if I were trying to lose weight, I would absolutely count my macronutrients. You can get an app to do that. And just be aware. And a lot of us mindlessly eat. We just snack or we put chips out or whatever it is, and we're not thinking about what we're doing. And an app tracking what you put in your mouth will help you. People do, or write down every single thing you put in your mouth, because you forget what you have. Like in the car on the way to get the kids, what are you eating, I have candy in my car from the kids, and you could easily just get a package of M&Ms and just down it and just forget you even did it. That's mindlessly eating. So I will post about, there's like top 10 clean eating foods, and you can find this anywhere. You can find it on Pinterest. I did not make this up. I read that book, which is still out there. It's called the Eat Clean Diet book. And I'm actually in the process of making my own ebook. Because I wanted to get recipes together. I have a few staple recipes that I make weekly, and they just keep me on track. I do a lot of peanut butters, but they're like the healthy peanut butter. I actually go grind them at the grocery store. There's a lot of nuts in my diet. I have to have high fat, or I don't think clearly. Like I get really foggy brained and it's like fat helps my brain. So, and that's healthy fat. It's avocado. Good fat doesn't make you fat. That's what women need to know is healthy fat does not make you fat. So it's feeding your brain. It just helps you. It helps you think clearly. You're a nicer person. You can pretty much do everything you can throughout the day and you don't feel sluggish. I do notice that. I take a lot of fish oils for my fat intake. We need that for our hair, our nails, everything. And I said I do a lot of eggs. I do boring chicken breast, chicken breast or salmon or any type of fish. I love sushi. White rice is not bad for you. You just have to do it in moderation, right? Anyway, and I do a lot of fats. That's pretty much my diet. It's not sexy. It's pretty boring. And I do not deprive myself. If I go to a Mexican restaurant, I'll have chips and salsa. I'll have a glass of wine. I'll have, probably a chicken salad with it. But it's a lifestyle. It's not like I'm going to go crazy one day and then I'm going to, deprive myself the next. It's not like that at all. And it's a balance that I found that works for me. And I just want to share it with other people. And, it's just easier when you eat like that and you're not obsessing over diet food or buying the next fad diet or the next cleanse. None of that works, Anyway, also I wanted to tell you about, I do functional fitness training 5 to 6 times a week. I do teach daily for yoga, but if no one watches me on my mat, but I don't even do a push-up with people. So I'm just in there talking for an hour. I do not count it as a workout. That's where instructors go a little crazy is they're like, oh, I taught 2 classes today. That's my workout. And that's just not the case. Like, if you're teaching, you should be teaching and you shouldn't be doing. And that's in my opinion. Another thing, so I've been doing functional fitness training. Like I said, I did CrossFit training and now I'm just doing, which all that is it's weightlifting and then with a little bit of cardio mixed in. And it's working for me. People think I work out 6 hours a day. That's not true. I don't even know who could do that, but I work out 50 to 60 minutes for one day. And I always take days off. Sundays are normally my days off where I go to church and just hang out with the kids. But if I feel good, I'll go do a yoga class or I'll walk, I just listen to my body. So that's the number one thing is people don't listen to their body and your body talks to you every single day. You just have to get super quiet and listen to it. And like if you have back pain and it keeps bugging you and bugging you and bugging you and you keep putting it off, there's a reason. Like it's going to come bite you in the butt if you don't fix it now. And I see it happen all the time. People will come and say they have pain in class and then I'll say, go get it fixed, go to a PT or go to a chiropractor, and then I don't see them for months because they waited too long or they kept doing class. And your body is talking to you all day. Like, listen to it, right? Anyway, I feel like I'm preaching. So I will post about the clean eating recipes and diets, and my ebook should be out later next month. And that's a lot of work I've been doing, but I want to, just talk about my experience and hopefully help someone else. And that's all I have. So if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to text or put it on Instagram or YouTube or anything. I will check them all and answer you guys. Have a blessed week.